So let's look at the foldable and let's see how the equations were transformed. So this has a -5. So that means it was translated down. So translated down 5 units. Next one, the only thing that changed is the +4. So that means it's up. Translated up 4 units. What's changed here is the 3, which is our slope. So that's a bigger number than 1. So it's steeper. Steeper by a factor of 3. It's going to go up 3 over 1 versus up 1 over 1. Next one, half. So that's going to be half as steep, right? So we can put less steep or half as steep. Less steep by a factor of half of 1 over 2. Number 5 has 2 things that are different. This, which tells us it's a reflection, reflected, and we have a +1. So what does that +1 do? Translates up, and translated up 1 unit. Okay, the next one, 1/10. So is that going to be steeper or less steep? Less steep. So less steep by a factor of 1/10. So think about up 1 over 10. If you think about that, then that's really, really flat, actually. And then this -2, what's the -2 going to do? So, and translated down 2 units. Okay, we're going to do 7 through, this would be called 11, I guess. Given f of x equals x, write the new function described by the transformation using function notation. So this first one is shifted up, which also means translate, right? So what's going to happen to this function? Add 3. So our g of x, or whatever function we want to call it, is going to be whatever f of x is plus 3. And what they mean by function notation is this, using your g of x, f of x, h of x, whatever it is. Okay, steeper by a factor of 5. What's going to change? The steepness. How do we write that? So let's look back at the front. It's going to be a times f of x. What is a then? It'd be 5. 5 is your factor. So this would be 5 times f of x.
Was your egg factor on number 7?
No. What this would be, like if I were to write it, it would be like y equals x plus 3. If I was writing it in just like y equals mx plus b form. This one would be y equals 5x. And then a reflection. So g of x is going to be found by doing a reflection of f of x. That just means change your sign. So negative f of x. Or we can write it as y equals negative x. And then shift it down by 7. Down 7 units. That's just changing your y-intercept. Kind of like this. This went up 3. So down 7 would be f of x minus 7. So we could write this as y equals x minus 7. Okay, the last problem on here. The graph of linear function h is shown on the grid. Given f of x equals x and h of x equals a f of x, what is the value of a? So all we're wanting to know is what a is. What would that be the same as finding? Huh? Your steepness or what? Huh? Just finding the slope. That's all. That's all it's asking for. It doesn't ask for the plus k or anything like that. It just wants to know the slope. So what do we know first about this slope? What kind of slope is it? Negative. So we know it's a reflection, right? How do we find the slope from 2 points? Yeah. So let's go from this point to this point. So we're going to go down. Down 6 and then over. Yeah. Negative 6 over 8. And then we just want to reduce that. How do we reduce that? So we're going to simplify it by 2. Which we get negative 3 over 4. There was a question similar to this on last year's EOC, but it was griddable. So what would you need to do if this was griddable? Yep. If it's griddable, change it to a decimal. What is that? What is 3/4? 0.75, so 0.75. So that's what A is. Negative 0.75. Glue this in your journal. And with your table groups, this is your last thing. Just do number 10, A through D. And then you'll turn this in.